Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to the Dice Tower. This is Crowd Surfing Lookback, where I take a look at various projects that I backed on Kickstarter and tell you what I think about them today, if I've even gotten them, where we are with them. So I think we'll just get jumping right into it with a fairly big project. Dead Reckoning, a swashbuckling strategy game from AEG. Now this was a pretty big campaign. I remember seeing this at Gen Con. They had the whole thing set up with the ships and everything. It looked really, really cool. And it really is. It's from John DeClaire. John DeClaire does two types of games: small, quick, fast, fun games, and then larger, gigantic games. And this is one of the bigger ones. Like here, it has a cube ship. That's pretty cool. It has card crafting, which John DeClaire is known for. Then it has pirate ships moving around and picking up cubes and dropping them off. And there is a ton in this game. It's a very good game. I like it a lot. It could have been streamlined, I think, in many places, but it delivered. People were very happy with it. It was a very popular game, and it came out, and lots of people enjoyed it. So I think we can call this one a rousing success. Escape the Night board game. So Escape the Night here, this one is based on I think it's like a YouTube or a Twitch channel. I'm not 100% sure. This one's terrible. This was an awful, horrible game. It actually has some fairly nice productions. There's pictures, but you're just kind of running around in this thing, rolling and moving, making challenge rolls that you might add one to. Woohoo, maybe you'll beat it. The art's fine. It has really cool embossed stuff all over the place, but you're just kind of running around, randomly fighting monsters, randomly doing stuff, voting people out. It's a piece of trash. So this one I would call a failure. Shadow Kingdoms of Valeria. I do like how they definitely keep track here of every single aspect here. Well, it's kind of convenient. It just doesn't look good. But hey, it's done. It was done 2021, September 1st. So that's pretty good. In fact, this one is actually on Kickstarter again. Or was on Kickstarter last we talked about it. Shadow Kingdoms of Valeria is a game from Stan Kodorsky. I like a lot of his stuff. You have these dice. So a lot of games when you have dice and you're taking dice, drafting dice, high dice are better. In this game, high dice are good, but lower dice might give you some sort of discount. So you can see here the one die gives you a discount of 5. And then you just put these dice in different areas and you take these actions. You're collecting your armies to go off and fight. You have your special abilities. Of course, it has the meat shows, artwork all over the whole thing. And it's a pretty solid game. I was very happy with this one. In fact, I think this might be the best Valeria game of all of them. Success! Daimyo, Rebirth of the Empire. So Daimyo here from Le Bout de Jeu, they make just really neat themed Euro games. And so this is kind of set in some sort of post-apocalyptic future. In fact, one of the things I like about this, I didn't even realize it, when you look closely at the Daimyo cover, here he's wearing a baseball cap, and that's a bicycle horn. And you know, it's basically, he formed a samurai helmet out of a bunch of trash from the future. But in this one, you are collecting cards, placing these cards. You know, you have kind of a deck of cards that's letting you do different actions. It has really nice upgraded components, but the base components are fine too. In fact, when I kept my copy, I struggled with, do I want to keep these nice miniatures? Because the miniatures are nice. Or do I want to keep the meeples in the game? This is one of the times where I think the meeples that they had in this game, and there's like the little meeples here, were fine. Like, and in fact, the buildings, I thought the buildings worked even better in this regard because, you know, here there's like 2 numbers in them. So you can see that building has a number 2 in it. That means you get 2 points when you build that building. And this one shows a bag of money in it. And I found that to be very convenient. So again, the game itself is solid, nice. We did a review of it. Good job. The Shivers. This game just came out. So I haven't played a ton of the Shivers yet. I've only played a couple. And in fact, you saw us play one here live in the Winter Spectacular. So the Shivers is really more of an RPG than anything else. Because what it is a bunch of people are opening up these things. It's a pop-up that are magnetic. They all stick together, and they take different actions, and then you essentially tell them what happens. You can have them roll dice and stuff, but essentially it is an RPG with a lot of other stuff involved. So I thought it was pretty cool. I want to see a little bit more of it before I give my final review on it. But so far, I think it's neat. My only thing is, I didn't really put a lot of effort, I think, into looking into this. I thought it was more of like an escape room style game, and it's really not. It's more of a role-playing style game. Roll Camera, the filmmaking board game. Now, this one I feel a little bit bad about this because I have not yet played this one. I know that Z and Mike played it, and they thought it was okay. But I've heard so many good things about this. I like the artwork. I like the theme. You know what? Maybe I'll get on the upcoming cruise. Maybe I'll try to get this one to the table and play it somewhere because it just looks like a lot of fun, and I like this idea. So, but I know that this one got a lot of very positive feedback, so congratulations to them. Whale Riders. So this is a reprint of a game from Reiner. Well, I don't know if it's a reprint, but it's a Reiner Knizia game. And so Whale Riders, pretty fun game, actually. I just played it recently, and I really like the artwork. Whale Riders, the card game, by the way, is awful and terrible. I hate every moment of it. But I like the artwork. You're kind of just moving up the board and then moving back on the board. And what's interesting about Whale Riders is it's a pretty big-sized game, but the game itself is, I feel, a smallish game. Like, here they show Whale Riders and Yellow and Yangtze. Well, you know what? Whale Riders is a much smaller game, for example, than Yellow and Yangtze. But anyhow, I found this one to be fun. If you like Reiner Knizia's games, you want to check it out. But the card game, you can drop that and forget that because it's not good at all. Surrealist Dinner Party. So this one I've not played. I believe Z may have played this one. We were all intrigued with this one because of the surrealistic art in it. You know, they have the different surrealistic artwork here. But it looks like you're just playing cards and collecting resources to play others. The company who made this, their games are okay, usually. Unfortunately, instead of great. But they do know how to make a good-looking game for sure. And I like the box for this one, and I got it, and it looked pretty cool. I just haven't given this one a play. Elixir Dice, handcrafted, sharp-edged, liquid core RPG dice. So in this one here, which ones of these did I get? Because I definitely got some of these dice. I'm always interested in dice, and these had that liquid stuff on the inside, and I got them, and they looked pretty impressive because it kind of goes around. Let me look here. I think I got the green ones that we saw at the top there, but I think these dice are amazing. They're very, very nice dice. I like the idea of having stuff going around in them. I forget what colors I have, but I thought that they were really, really cool. Yura Penguin, this one, a small little game from Japan. If you like Rhino Hero, a game where you stack cards and then have your Rhino try not to fall off, this is very similar. Think of this as more like Uno, where you place these levels here, and then that will give the next person has to put a couple tokens on, or they have to move up one of the penguins. And they gave a lot of different penguins. It's a really pretty game, very small, very esoteric little style game, but I thought it was fun. This is one that it's just neat to own because you have these little cards that hold up, and then you're putting levels on top of them, but you're also putting on rocks and stones and penguins without having the thing fall over. And then finally, Catapult Kingdoms. So this is an interesting one because very soon, Crossbows and Catapults was, I mean, it was a very popular game, and you can find it all over the internet. On eBay and things like that. Well, that's what this is, essentially. Catapults and Kingdoms is Crossbows and Catapults brought back. But it has all sorts of fun things. Me and my son really enjoyed this one. In fact, it's better than Crossbows and Catapults. You're tossing little rubber balls with catapults, and you're just launching them at your opponent. There was all kinds of little upgrades. There were beehives. Let me see if I can find some of the upgrades. But the pieces themselves, like these guys sticking out their tongue at your opponent, that was just a lot of fun. There's a Siege expansion, which had these boulders. You also had special cards you could play. This was the Artificer's Tower, another thing that launched with some rounded corners, and the beehives. The beehives are my favorite because they're like those things you stick on the end of a pencil, and they just bounce all over the place in a weird way. What other expansions here? That was the new weapon. These are all the stretch goals. The one thing I would say that one of the expansions here, the volcano, I did not think was particularly worth getting. This volcano here in the middle of the table. But everything else, including the pirate boat, it was just a lot of fun. In fact, I own very few games on a personal level. I have the Dice Tower library here, and I own very few games. But this is one I did stick in my personal library because I can play this with my son. So a lot of fun. And that, folks, is all the different Kickstarter projects that I backed and just some thoughts on them. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Kickstarter Lookback on the Dice Tower.